All right, well, it kind of breaks my heart to not be out there attempting to plant something, but that's okay because there's still time and there's still plenty to do, is what I'm saying. So that's what we're going to work on, and we're going to do that right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, and today it's going to be fence repair man. And what we're going to do is, we cleaned away some of our sadness there yesterday, or I should say the last time we did this. And so it's time to start building back better, except I'm going to actually do it. And what we're going to do with that is, step one is a gate. And then step two is post hole digger tractor and another gate. And that's how she's going to go. So in case I did not make this evident last time, this is what's going to happen here, see? And I need to kind of be looking at my far away post and this post to get an idea of the line that we're going to follow. See, that doesn't look like 90 degrees to me, but what do I know? I'm no math magician. But at any rate, it doesn't have to be perfect. But if we do this and we kind of sight down, it's going to take us it's going to take us in front of this where the old one was. It's going to take us just to the right of that tree. There's an iron post, and that's kind of what I'm shooting for, because when we get to that point and we put in the gates down there, then we're actually going to jump to the outside of that fence and try to make this a little bit more square, because it's kind of funky down in there in that corner. And I don't know what the reason was again for that, whether he was just trying to get to some place that already had a fence so he didn't have to work as hard, or whether it was wet, or what the reason was. But I'd like it to be a little bit more square. That'll give a little bit more room in this nighttime pen, that I call it, because that's usually where, if you lock them up at night, they're in here. And then it'll square out that field down there a little more as well, so when you're mowing you don't have to make such a big jog over to get it clean. That's my thinking. But what do I know? I don't read at a very high reading level, so whatever. Now, these gates, of course, came with the cheapo the cheapo things, and you're not supposed to be able to do it this way, what I'm doing, but all right. What we're gonna have to do, well, I screwed it up already, and what I mean is I got too big a drill bit. My drill bit I got is bigger than this, so that ain't gonna work. So we're gonna have to go back and find a different one. But we're gonna have to drill us some holes, and then we will screw this in. And what we will also do is we will take usually I take a big adjustable wrench, because it's got a hole in the handle and it fits right over that pretty nice, and then you can just keep screwing it in and away she goes. So I got to get a different drill bit. I got a 3/4 drill bit, and that's too big. I think a 1/2 inch drill bit would probably be just fine for this, and then we'll decide where it's got to be. But I've lived long enough to tell you where it's going to be. It's probably going to interfere with something. It's probably going to end up right in a board or something. I don't like them to be just rubbing the dirt. I keep the gates up, 6, 8, 12 inches sometimes. Just depends on the terrain that they gotta live in, so that you're not always dragging the ground, you know. If you're doing something for hogs, maybe it's different, because hogs like to stick their nose under and rip it up in the air, but for cattle, this will be fine. So let me go find a better drill bit, and then we'll make this happen. All right, I managed to find an old drill bit, which is what I want, because I don't want to use my nice brand new ones to do, yeah, drilling in wood makes them dull, that's what I'm saying. Also, got me that wood block there to kind of give me some type of gauge to where I want to be. So, I think I actually want to be slightly higher. And we will do that by, well, we could do it by like this. That's what I want. If I want it right about like that. So, what we're gonna do there is we're gonna kind of do that number there. Now we need to get this gate up. Well, that went to pieces in a hurry, didn't it? But that's what I wanted. All right. I don't know why the last few years it seems like wind. We have more wind than I know what to do with. I just don't get it. Also, I noticed that this drill bit ain't much. It wants to wander off center. Probably why it was in the parts pile. We don't want to start a fire. Now this being low to the ground, it's probably, well, just keep tearing it up over there. I mean, seriously. Now we're gonna hang the gate on that to get an idea where we gotta be. So, as you can see, we've got an extremely too wide gap there. So that's where the block comes in handy, because we can put it down here on the end and it'll hold that up for us. And probably if we even flip it, are we coordinated enough to do that? I don't know, but about like that. And see, then that would be where we want our finished height to be. But this is going to give us some idea of what we need to do. Or not. Nope. Right about there. That's what I want. Oh good, self-closing gate. Alright. So, some people probably say, oh well, you put this in and, you know, no. You put it in like this. And the reason being is, not only is it's pulling back the opposite way, but the biggest reason is, if an animal hooks their head on the gate, they can't just flip it off the hinges. If you had them both the same way, that would be so easy to do. So this one is adjustable. What I'm gonna do is loosen it and drive it down, and then figure out where I want this, and then we'll drive this back up on it and tighten it down. You know what I'm saying? That's another nice thing about using the adjustable. You have a wrench with you, see? It's not the right size, but you have one. And the other nice thing is you also have a hammer. You have it all in one convenient tool. Now, the trick is too, we've got to have enough room that we don't have to work and work and work to get it. So we're probably going to go right about there. Let's set this gate aside now for a second. All right, we set about right here. We want to kind of be in line with the other one. Are we? I hope so. Looks like it. You don't have to get too caught up with this of being totally perfect. I mean, we're not entering professional fence competition here. Plus the fact, you can always take comfort in the fact of knowing that these animals are going to have this all destroyed in just a few short years. So you can redo it then if you don't like the way you did it the first time. So always think positive like that, you know. This one might also have to be turned in another turn or two in order to get the your far end of the gate. If you want it level, this is how you do your leveling, by changing the amount of your hinges in or out. So oh, let's go another one. Okay, get the gate. Alright, let's get that up there. Alright, so it'll be like that. That's a little bit high, but they will sag it down slightly. I'm thinking about turning it back out a turn, because that's just a little, I think it's a little too much, because we're going, our terrain is going downhill. But if it, oh, I hit that little tree. It would be nice there. I mean, it doesn't hit anything. Maybe I should leave it alone. I don't know. I'm gonna give it one little back out and see what happens. Get down off of there. Let's try that. There, that accomplished nothing, but it made me feel better. So that'll be, yeah, see, it's not hitting anything either way, because most of the time, if this is open, not that it would be, it's going to be tied against that piece right there. So it's hard to explain my reasoning without knowing the grander plan that's in my brain, but trust me, that'll be what we want. It's going to be like this in its home position, And then the other gate will be right here next to it. And then we're headed down there for that post. So I think we're going to tighten this one right like she goes. All right. We got the first step in our process. So that's pretty nifty. I almost feel like I should drive a post here in the center just to help hold this while we're building it. And later on, I mean, very rarely will it be that I need to go through here with both. But I really need the other one tied up so that this isn't just blowing in the breeze. And it would kind of help keep my line of sight straight. So let's go get the post driver and we will recycle one of these old ones, probably this one, that will be easy to pull out. And we'll figure out, you know, some place for it to be. I like my gates to overlap a little in the center. Some people do it different ways, but you know, tube on tube action would be what I'm after, because that just makes it a little bit better. Let me go grab the post driver. For now, we'll go here. Dirt now. All right, they're gonna freak out when they see that because they don't know what's going on. But that's kind of the line we want. So we'll come through here, like I said. Well, the camera went all technicolor on me again, so hopefully I got some of that. Nope. I don't know about our camera. It seems to want to mess up a lot lately. Probably about time to buy another new one. But all right, I'm gonna have to probably invest in go to the GoPro website and buy batteries, because I bought some that I thought were good, and it seems like whenever certain ones are in there, they just don't have it anymore, and it makes the camera mess up. But for the next leg of our journey, we need this. And this hasn't run in a while. So we're gonna hope that we have gas and that we have battery charging. We have oil, that's good. That's always like 20% of the necessary stuff right there. Radiator cap seemed to have some pressure on it, so that might mean that there's liquid down in there somewhere. I can't feel it, but I'm gonna say that it does. I mean, it did last time, so why wouldn't it now? Plus, we ain't going to pull a plow. I mean, now we gotta get our fat self up there. Flying creatures, have you built a nest in here yet? No, but you will. You will. My deluxe seat. I haven't ever hardly got to sit in it. This is very nice. And I also have to remember, what is my brake situation on this tractor? Well, a negative. My equalizer bar is... I guess I do have brakes on both now, don't I? I didn't for a while. I took one out because it was overheating, but... Oh, come on. Look at that sweetheart. Sat in there for months and months. Sure would be nice to know which light was which, but the little piece of paper went away. Does that mean I don't have oil pressure? Does it mean I don't have charging? I got oil pressure, it wouldn't sound that way. We're just gonna pretend. Okay, something becomes obvious, and that is we're going to need air in some collection of tires, because it doesn't appear that we have much in any of them. We'll let it idle. Hasn't run for a long time. We'll hook up the air compressor. What a sweetheart. To the point it needs new tires. I think these are what was on there when I bought it, and I know that one was because it's a 4 rib, and I think that's odd. It's really sad because this is not a bad tire if it wasn't for all that cracking. I think I just heard it pop too, so it ain't gonna be long now before that ain't a tire. There. Look at that. I wonder if a guy pressure washed it just right, if I could get the original paint back, because it looks like those wheels were excellent. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but looks like a lot of the clover white was probably fine. It's got one different fender. The seat frame is different than when I got it because it was wrong. That other fender I had to weld on quite a bit. This one I had welded some, but then I found these other fenders and it's a lot better, so I used it. Been brush painted by somebody, so sure. I'm not prepared for what I'm doing, so I got all my posts and stuff right here, so that's not a problem, but I really need to drill 3 at a time and then put up that section and so on and so forth. You'll see as we do it. It'll make sense, I promise. Maybe. I guess whilst I'm not on the tractor, it would be handy to just mark my spot for my hole right now, so I don't have to jump on and off. So for this gate, we're gonna fudge a little bit. We're not gonna put the pins in this way. We're gonna put them in this way. And the reason for that is then I can fold this gate around and tie it to the fence. So if you looked at it head on from up top, it's not gonna be, the gate opening's gonna be a little wonky, I guess you would say. But that makes the most sense to me, you know. because sure. So now we'll just do this number here. We'll drill us a hole there. And then we'll get our stuff laid out and we'll drill 2 more holes and lumber and panels and the whole 9. You know what I mean. If you've been looking around, you see how I build my fence, so you'll understand what's happening. I love this seat. I could sit in this all day. It's a lot more better than the old one. We're downhill pretty aggressively if the camera doesn't show that, you know what I mean. This is kind of a trick too, because of course now I got it swinging, so that's even worse, but no. Whoops. See right there, you can see my issue with, I said in that one video at the farm machinery show, this top piece is just not on board with what we're doing here. And it has wore over time to the point that it doesn't, it wants to lean while you're digging. So you got to kind of watch it and not let it do that thing. Cool. This wind is nuts. So, because of that issue, which I never have quite resolved, I need to do something. I don't know if I just put a bunch of bushings in there, if that would help it a little bit. It's just too slopped out, is what it amounts to. But if you take into account that it's going to do that when you dig your hole, you can kind of have your hole in the right spot to where you wanted it to be. But you kind of got an angled hole. Another thing that needs to take place, and I did not do that thing, is I need to go grab my manual post hole digger, because you do knock some back in there as you go. So let me go grab that, and then we'll proceed on our way. All right, we got stuff and things. I love the little Cushman. It's been a life changer. However, it hates the service truck. It hates it with a passion. I have run into the service truck with this several times now and bent the door, because What I don't realize about this one, different than the golf cart, is that it's up higher and also it sticks out farther, and I keep clipping things with the edge of that bed. So I got to get used to that. Yeah, it's not quite as tight as a golf cart, but it will work. Well, let's see what kind of luck you have with that. I really probably don't need to take any more dirt out. I should probably test fit my post, because it's going to be a lot taller. What I'm saying is I don't want it to be not high enough out of the ground, because I dug my hole pretty deep. Them nice deep holes, you know. That is a little tall. I can go down more. It's loose, it just needs to be pulled out of the hole again. Still on the tall side. However, I like that. I'm debating with myself again. It's just I wish it was down another 6 or 8 inches, I think, is what I want. And then that would pretty well do what I want it to do. I don't think I can dig it with the tractor, but I'll try. Now we can start all over again. That's more better. Now, I could get a level and whatever, but why? You know, you can do it this way just as good. Test our gate theory. I guess we we came out a little bit wrong, but that's okay. It's not going to be quite as much as I like overlap, but it's going to be good enough for who she's for. Yeah, it's gonna be oh well, it ain't worth pulling it out to do it again, I'll tell you that. Like I said, most of the time I think I probably will have a post driven in the middle anyway, because yeah, now if a guy was smart, he'd drag over one of those old broke off posts to set the gate on to help him get his wits about him here of where he's going to put this, because you see it's got to go up a little bit. You can see it's not the way it needs to be. more better. If I can make it like that, we'll be good. This always takes the longest part of this whole process. Once we get this first section done with these 3 posts, then the rest of it in there won't take any time at all. It's just driving T-posts and wiring up panels. So this is by far the most labor-intensive process, because you got to get stuff just right and then lined up and all that. But yeah, we're gonna put these in there. Of course, we'll have boards here to connect the 3, so we got to leave space for that to happen, which is no big deal. It'll work. See, we want to be even if we're a little higher, that's okay too. But let's just say cut him out there. Let's get this. All right. Now we got to do the top, and then we'll have these gates hung. But we'll have to leave it on the blocks till we get all this done, or it's gonna, you know, need to get an earth anchor too and screw in there and pull up on that to keep her level. So will that all happen? I don't know. There. I kind of went a different route. Usually I buy those round posts from like the farm store, but the quality of them seems to be going quite downhill, and they're obviously, you're mounting flat boards to a round post. So this time I'm going square, rectangle actually, I guess you'd say, but I think it'll be fine. Oh, now this I actually have to, I need to be slightly above that line. Sure. These square ones drill a lot easier too, so that must mean they'll rot easier. I don't know. Is that about even? Maybe one more. There. All right, I'd say that's got her. We'll leave it up on those blocks for now so that it doesn't pull that out of whack for us in the meantime. That will work. I can actually, if I would lower the top of that one down, like I talked about a while ago, that would be slightly better. We can just do that now real quick. That will bring the, you know, the middle closer together. It'll be better. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be better. Now, naturally, it'll pull that post over, and then it'll be even worse, and we'll have to go back to the way we were. But that brings it up to kind of more level. Those are pretty well together. Slightly overlapped, not quite as much as I wanted, but that's the way she goes. Not worth changing it. That one now will open and be able to fold against the fence and tie it out of the way. That one will fold against that fence, and then you'll have 24 feet opening whenever I get rid of that pole. Yeah, See, that was the idea for overhead electric fence, so you didn't have to drive, you know, disconnecting stuff as you go. But I'm over that. I don't like it. That's going to change eventually. He actually, when I was a kid, had another long pole and a cross pole. He said it looked like Western stuff, you know. I remember that. But at any rate, it's time to make it better and update stuff. So that's what we're doing. But we're pretty well in the line now of what we want, and we'll just continue on our way as we go. I think actually, after walking down there, my new goal is going to be right on the side of this tree where it was. We're just going to shoot between those two trees is where we're going to come out, and that'll be more straight with what we got taking place up here, because like that's right in line with the three. This one, the one on the other gate, and then the one on the very far end, which are the same distance from the barn. That was the idea, that we kind of use the barn as a guide and get ourselves squared up with everything. And then we're going to cut down through there. The gates are going to be between those two trees. That works out good, and it's solid there, so we can drive through there. Just a lot of work. I mean, but we had to start somewhere, so we got 2 gates hung, and I'll get the rest of these holes drilled. Probably won't be today anymore, because it's just about time to go. And then I got somewhere I got to be after the bus time, so that's unfortunate, but that's the way she goes. So anyway, you got to see some nonsense here, and you got to see at least one tractor running. So is it a bad day if you get to see a tractor? You know, probably not. So I suppose we will call this video here, and you know, I may bring you back for more fence building, and I may just do it one day and not worry about it. So sometimes I like to just work without the camera and get things done. So yeah, there's plenty more action like that we can film in the future. So if you get shortchanged your fence videos now, don't freak out. There'll be more chances. Well, I said I was going to end it, but I'll show you how far I got. We got all this done. Basically, everything back to the same distance of where we quit tearing stuff out. So that's cool. It's kind of not finished, tightened up yet. I need to go back and add more, but I'm out of time tonight, so I got to go somewhere else. We'll get that all tore out next time. I guess the GoPro thought enough, but yeah, we'll tear that all out next time. It's going to work out to where it comes right next to the tree on that side of it, and then we'll do gates, trim the trees to where we can get through. We might possibly have to remove that one tree. I hate that because I like trees, but I also like being able to get through places and have stuff work nice. So yeah, but we're coming along. I even got that hole partially filled in, and they've been walking on it, compressing that down. So hopefully that'll be full again someday. But yeah, progress is made. Like I said, setting those posts is the most time-consuming part, and then after that, it seems like you just really go to it, you know. And I've used 3 panels so far. I recycled one up there on the back side of the post, so we're coming along nicely. And I can recycle, that one's a good one yet, and so is that one on the end. So there's 2. If I can get them out of there, that will be good for some other project. That one's okay-ish, but the bottom rung is rusted off, so not perfect, but I'm happy. Progress was made, and yeah, looks a lot nicer than just cobbled up mess. So we got to finish loading our trailer with scrap and throw some of that other garbage on there. Do you enjoy seeing a basic white man in his middle 30s struggling at life? If so, hit that thumbs up and leave us a comment. because all of that stuff is supposed to help us out and grow the channel, and we can keep making more stuff like what you just saw. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.